You can change for your partner without changing who you are. This is something that I really struggle with when my wife would tell me she needed me to change things that I felt like just was who I was as a person. And I realized that that wasn't true. You know, if she was asking me to talk to her differently than I talk to my family or my friends, why can't I do that? If she's asking me to give her more attention, why can't I do that? If she's asking me to wring out my bath towels after I'm done taking a shower and hang them on the rack, why can't I do that? These are just skills that I need to build. It's not really changing who I am, because who I am is always who I'm going to be. I can't change the core of my being, but I can build and acquire the skills that I need to communicate to her and love her and show her affection how she needs. It's all about knowing who you are as a person and not confusing that with skills that you need to build to love the person who you say that you love. So acquire those skills, because they will go a long way, and it has nothing to do with who you are as a person.
Okay, so real quick, I just want to read the caption that this gentleman had below his video. Not the full thing, just part of it. We've all been on the receiving end of "I'm not changing who I am" or "accept me for me." And I do believe that there's truth to these quotes. However, I believe it's important to not confuse who you are with building a skill. Listen, I love that. I love it. 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 Because me personally, when in a relationship, because that's what he's speaking about in a relationship, so I'm sticking to that. I'm speaking in terms of a relationship, you know, your partner, whether it's a spouse, whether it's your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, partner. I'm speaking in terms of an intimate relationship, right? He's saying, like, okay, he had these ways about himself that, you know, whether they were before his wife came along or whenever, but he had these ways about himself. And initially, it was, you know, like, that's who I am, you know, pretty much take it or leave it, baby. And he came to a realization, like, wait a minute, why can't I make these changes? Why can't I, you know, do these things that would make my wife happier? And it doesn't hurt me to do that, so why can't I do it? It's not that, you know, I can't make those changes, because as he said, he said it's not changing who he is at his core. It is simply him building a skill that in turn helps him to better his relationship with his spouse. So his thing was, why can't I do that? If I love this woman, if I want to make her happy, why can't I acquire these skills to, you know, whatever the issue is that I need to do? And I love that. I love it, because very often we all get into the "that's who I am." You know, you take it or leave it. If you can't deal with it, then whatever, you know, that's you. And you know, I too myself, I've said that as well before, to people, and it's a effed up way to think. Because I think for a lot of people, it's a matter of this thinking this way, being this way. It's gotten me to where I am. And for some people, you know, they're in a great spot, great space, a great place. So for them, it's like, why would I want to change these things about me, you know, just to appease you, when being this way have gotten me here? As opposed to looking at it like, okay, if I change these things about me that, you know, my partner isn't too happy about, isn't too keen about, if I change these things, then that could push me further than where I am now. You know, that could take me where I actually want to be, or put me closer to where I want to be if I change these things about me. And in doing so, that does not change the person that I am. It does not change me, who I am at my core. It does not change my values. It does not change Bridget. It doesn't change me when I make these changes, when I build these skills. All that does is makes me a better partner for my partner. It makes me a better person for my partner. It makes me a better lover for my partner. It makes me a better friend for my partner. So, and it, like my partner, he's very boisterous about telling me, things that I need to work on about myself and what I need to do for the benefit of our relationship and even for the benefit of myself. And when he tells me, I listen. Now, these things, doesn't matter what it is, these are not things that these changes or these skills you will build just overnight. It's not going to happen. You will make more mistakes than you will perfect it, It's going to take time, but it's just a matter of your partner seeing the value in having that, giving you that grace, the effort, or having the patience for you putting in the effort in making those changes or building those skills. And, and I too have said things to him that, okay, these are things that, I'm not a fan of. And even with him, he would say with certain things like, this is the way I am. I'm this way with everyone. And for me, when I hear that, it's like, okay, but I'm not everyone. You and I are supposed to have a different bond in comparison to everyone else. You and I, we shouldn't be on the same, our relationship shouldn't be on the same level as everyone else that you have these relationships with. Our relationship shouldn't be on the same level as your business partners or your family and your friends and all. Our relationship should be on a different level. We have a different set of boundaries. We have a different interaction. Our relationship is not the same with everyone. So when I hear, I'm this way with everyone, or this is the way that I am, take it or leave it, for me, I hate hearing that, because I'm like, I know this is who you are, but I know that this is something that can be changed. It can be fixed. It can be worked on. It can change without it changing who you are as a person, without it changing him at his core. And then, there were some things that, he did used to say that, this is who I am, or this is what I do. I'm this way with everyone. But then as time, he compromised on it with me, and he acquired those skills and made the changes and things like that. And even myself with things, because I'm very emotional. So they had, or according to him, I'm too emotional. Because I love my men. I love, I want to always talk to my man, always be around my man, all of that. So for me, I wanted to hear from him every day. I wanted a phone call every day. I wanted a text message. I want to always know what's going on in your world. How are you doing? I want to know those things. And so when I didn't hear from him, it's like, okay, it's been a day. Okay, it's been 2 days. I haven't heard from you. For me, that was a problem. Granted, it did stem from, previous relationships and things that I experienced in those. So it was me also projecting the insecurities from those previous relationships. My bad, got cut off. But yeah, so, so for me, I was saying that, you know, like I would want to always hear from him, and you know, when I didn't hear from him, it would trigger those past feelings or emotions that I dealt with in a previous relationship. And it's like, okay, like, listen, you know, it's been too long. Like, you ain't talking to me. Is there something wrong? Are you okay? Are we okay? But, you know, whether he wants to admit it or not, I have gotten way better with that, okay? Because now I'm like, okay, you know, we can go, you know, not too many days after, you know, a little, I'm like, okay, what's going on? You know, you good? Are you okay? Or are we okay? Um, but yeah, so what this guy said, you know, I definitely can agree with everything he said. It's not a matter of you changing who you are at your core, but just a matter of you building skills to make those changes that can better you in your relationship. You know, I'm in the process of trying to make some changes, or build some skills myself for the betterment of my relationship, and you know, overall for myself. But yeah, you know, it's a process. Okay, it absolutely is a process, because when you've been, you know, away, or certain ways or habits or whatever, when you've had these for so long, so many years, like me, you know, I'm in my late 30s, and you know, no one has ever pointed these things out to you. No one has ever, you know, stated that it's been a problem for them, or, you know, things like that. So for you, it was never a worry. It was, or never something you know, you needed to really focus on. So it stuck with you. And now, you know, when you're up in age, it's like, okay, you know, now you gotta try to figure out, you know, what is it that I need to do in order to build these skills, or in order to, you know, to break these other habits, or to no longer do those things that were not pleasing to my partner. So, you know, I'm just rambling on, just rambling. But you know, I do agree with and love everything that this gentleman said in this video. That, you know, just when your partner speaks to you, you know, listen. If you love them, you know, if you love them, listen. And if it doesn't hurt, hinder, kill you, you know, why not make the changes? And it has to be, you know, two-way. Can't just be one person always talking about, you need to change this, you need to do this. You're not doing that. Because when it's that way, it's like, okay, am I really the problem? Or are you just, you know, difficult to please? Or are you just anal about everything, or a lot of things? You know, then it gets to that, like, okay, wait a minute, you know, you're always pointing the finger at me, and you're always pointing out, you know, what I need to fix, you know, as if yours don't stink. Is it really me? Because, you know, I've never had these problems, whether, you know, whatever. But yeah, so it has to, okay, you know, it can't always be one person that needs to always fix and change things, because nobody's perfect. You know, it doesn't matter. Even if your partner doesn't say, hey, I need you to work on this, or hey, I don't like when you do this, or hey, you know, when you do that, it really hurts me, it bothers me. Even if they don't do that, pay attention to, you know, the way they respond to things. Pay attention to their body language when you do or say things to them. Pay attention, just learn your partner and pay attention to them to you can kind of gauge what it is. Like, okay, they kind of responded a bit negatively to that, or they, when I did this, they liked that, or but when I did that, they didn't talk to me for days. So let me not do that again. And if it is something that you've always done, and you're so used to doing, you just got to figure out how to go about not doing it. Like I said, it's a process. It can be an easy process or a difficult one. I think it all just depends on the skill, the person, and your partner. Your partner being supportive with you, trying to navigate those changes or navigate building those skills. But yeah, it change will come, if you are persistent and if you want it and if you have that support from your partner. The change will come, okay? Not overnight, but it will come.